In a major construction project, the project manager, Maria, is conducting a detailed review of the project's financial against the cost baseline and examining the risk register. She has identified a significant risk: the introduction of an innovative yet unproven construction material. While it offers potential cost saving, it also poses a high risk of causing potential delays and budget overrun by up to 30% due to its uncertain performance. The project is operating under stringent budget constraints and has a fixed deadline. Any significant deviation from the cost baseline would be detrimental, so not liked. Yeah. Maria also notes that contingency reserve is currently set at 10% around and primarily for other identified potential risks. In this context, which risk response strategy should Maria adopt? So we have an innovative idea which can work in a positive way as well as negative way. So some stakeholders, some team members wants to try that out, and the project manager sees that, yeah, if it goes bad, we could be in a 30% negative impact. And I have a stakeholders who are looking for adherence to the cost and timelines. So what should I do? Should I take this opportunity or a negative risk, or should I avoid it? So it's a kind of question which is handling with the negative and positive risk together, and putting a challenge to a project manager to find out right risk response strategy. In general, since the project is not showing a need for innovation, it is not so critical for me, and the stakeholders are clearly showing that we want a fixed predictable output, I should be avoiding many experiment in such kind of project environment. So let's see what all options we have. Option A: avoid the risk by choosing a conventional proven material, increasing initial cost but ensuring adherence to the project's strict cost baseline and schedule. So we can say we already have a conventional material based project already approved, and looks like we are working against the strict timelines and the cost, which the question is very clearly indicating. Let's stick to the plan and let's not do too many experiments here. Yeah, so that seems to be, and if I do that, I avoid the risk. So I am not experimenting with the new unproven material. That's an option A. Looks great in a given context, because unnecessary I should not create a problem for my stakeholder. Yes, I can propose and talk to the stakeholder, if they like, I can do it, but those all options are not very clearly mentioned here. So in the absence of that, we can do it. The better could be I can go to the stakeholder and discuss. Let's see if we have a better option, else we will come back to the option A. Option B: proceed with the new material, accepting the risk while slightly increasing the contingency reserve by additional 10% for this specific risk. So it is like directly going ahead with it, not worried about the negative impact, and just adding little bit more contingency, and the project manager is taking the call. Let's go for it. Yeah. So little risky. If I do it after doing good consultation with the stakeholders and showing them possible impacts and bringing the potential benefits and get a buy-in, then looks good. But me alone, and that too when we have a 30% impact and also have a strict cost baseline and timeline target, not a good idea. So I'm not choosing option B. Option C: reallocate resources to other innovative areas of the project to potentially offset cost while continuing with the plan to use the new material. So it could be an option, but it is not taking care of current risk. Yeah, it could be like something we do as a option 2, option 3, step 2, step 3. But right now we have a risk and we need to find out a appropriate risk response strategy. So this one is possibly a good thing to do, but not at all talking about the question which we have in front of us. Option D: allocate extra funds to the expenditures and testing of new material, attempting to reduce the uncertainty and potential impact on the project. So this one is focusing on mitigate option, that yes, we can do some kind of mitigation strategy and find out what should we do about it. In general, when we have a risk which can be avoided, and the overall context says it is possible, until unless I have a clear indicator which shows that you should go for mitigate rather than avoid, I should always choose avoid. So I should avoid whenever I can avoid, if the question is showing me that it is possible to avoid. So in this case, I do see it is possible to avoid, and the stakeholders are also very stringent about it. Then why to take unnecessary trouble? And if I want to take an unnecessary trouble, I must bring that to the notice of stakeholder. So in this, all the remaining three option, the better option is missing, better than A, where I can take this idea to the stakeholder and do some brainstorming with them and figure out what should we go do about it. But in the absence of that, I think option A is the best option. I go with avoidance as a risk response strategy in this particular question. Overall, the tasks are assess and manage risk, task 3 of our process domain. And the task 5, which is also about managing budget, is indirectly connected here, because we are also talking about looking at performance measurement and checking the cost baseline against our current performance and taking care of risk. The overall concept, it is more focusing on responding to negative risk. We were looking for avoid, mitigate, and accept option. And we were also looking at the concept, how do we manage project budget on the ongoing basis.